Hello.
Hey everybody, welcome to JPL's podcast name in brackets.
Mm. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for listening. It's been a great show.
You gotta continue with that, man. You can't just leave us hanging.
Well, I was about to end it all.
Yeah. Okay.
It's been a
You've
great episode.
introduced the show.
We've talked
Okay.
about so much. We talked about the intro and talked about how to present the intro.
Anyway, here's
So
a proper hello. Hello everyone, this is JPL, and today I'm joined with
Christopher.
Yes, you're also the 164, and this is podcast name in brackets. And today we're under different circumstances again. Just myself in my circumstances.
Yeah.
I am currently in my grandparents' home. So I also didn't bring my computer with me because I decided why not just do some light reading while we're at it.
Have you actually been reading?
Not as much as I would like to.
But you're at least reading. More than you usually do.
Yes. More than I usually do.
Amazing.
I haven't actually started reading. No. I didn't start reading till yesterday.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, you only got there like 2 days ago, so.
I got there Saturday, and the reason why I
haven't been got there Saturday. Oh, Sunday.
Yeah. It was because we're celebrating, and that's why.
Okay.
We're busy with the family celebrating. I don't have time to sit around and read my book when they're talking. So.
Right. So like, let's record a podcast instead.
Anyway, I have finished one book.
Okay.
To be fair, I was 2/3 of the way in. But
at
least I did something.
True. So what books have you been reading?
I finished a Star Wars book.
Okay. So is it like one of those behind the scenes books, or is it like
It's a storybook.
Canonical. Okay.
It's canonical.
Is it like its own story or based on the movies?
It's. I mean, technically they're all based on the movie, but yeah, it's its own story.
Okay. Got it. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. John has to go back to the celebrations and eat more cake.
We're done celebrating, okay? We have nothing more to celebrate, okay? It's just you and me. We can celebrate each other's friendship if you like.
Okay. Well, hey everybody, we don't have cake, so go ahead and go to the Anchor website and give John some money so we can buy some cake, or go to my
stop abusing the power. Stop abusing the power. We're not gonna buy cake with this money. I'm on a diet.
You're on vacation. I'm on a diet.
Well, no, I think I'm taking a break from the diet this week.
Yeah. How has that been, taking a break from your diet this week?
It's delicious. But it's fun. Yeah, cake. Let's not do that.
Okay.
But anyway, if you do like to support us, please do. We need money. We're college students.
Okay.
$1 makes all the difference, apparently. Yes, and so you're moving some stuff to Patreon, I hear.
Okay, so first off, I'm just super curious about Anchor. Do they take a percentage of?
I have no idea. I have no idea. So far, I only have like 1 cent in my wallet.
Yeah, that was thanks to me.
Yep. No.
No?
Well, no. Like I assume it's a matter of. I have no idea how the system works, but I've been getting views, and the cents do show up, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna get that money until I reach a certain amount of time or something. Because I don't know how that works, but at least I have 1 cent.
So. True. I have a playlist where I do promote this podcast, so I doubt anyone listens, but it exists. 164.
Thank you. We're on a bunch of different platforms. Yes. That's fun.
Including Apple.
Including Apple and Spotify.
So about my deal with Patreon, I'm not necessarily moving. I'm temporarily doing stuff on Patreon because YouTube's not monetizing me yet. So basically it's because of the reactions. So I'm like, all right, they're like the new Striper single's releasing this Friday. I'm excited. And if I was just to wait for my YouTube channel to be monetized, that's just going to take a while. So I'm like, you know what? If anyone really wants it, it's going to be on Patreon. And plus, I have like 3 reactions. One got taken down, one got blocked, and the other I just never posted. So so getting some there's going to be content that will not be on YouTube,
including our stuff.
That's
it's never gonna happen.
Yeah, you can't find. John took down our stuff from YouTube because YouTube said that it's full of.
Why did I take it down? When did I take it down?
Bad jokes from Christopher because he keeps
you need to finish editing that sucker.
I am not posting that. I'm not editing. I didn't even start editing it. You're gonna be in a different video of mine that I will finish editing.
Am I?
Yeah.
What did we do?
No, what we're going to do.
I see what we're going to do, yes. And we're going to do a bunch of other things later down the line.
Listen, you're doing the reviews, and I'm doing the non-Let's Try a Headbang number 2.
So you don't want to put some reviews on your channel.
Were you thinking about that?
I don't know.
I thought it was going to be for your channel.
I could, yeah, I mean, definitely, sure, I can do that.
I mean, I'm going to promote it like I usually do.
Do you want some reviews on your channel as well?
I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that. Because I think it's...
Or should we create a brand new channel altogether or start over? No. That'd be a lot.
That would be a lot.
That would be a lot.
It would fit better on your channel.
Yeah, it would. Because my channel is whatever I want.
Bro. Mine, like, it's just I don't really touch on movies or videos or anything of that sort, which I'm not against. But also, actually, what I'm a little worried about is have you had to mark any of your stuff for kids?
No.
No. Really? Whew. So then I'm actually wondering about this whole VeggieTales thing. Will they...
It should be fine.
It should be fine.
It should be fine.
It better be fine, because if it's not...
It should be fine. I mean, I have no plans of monetizing it. I mean, I can't even monetize it anyway. But it should be fine.
It better be fine.
It better be fine. My pony stuff has not been touched at all.
Okay.
So, that's not to say that it's never going to be touched at all.
But it's a good sign. It's hope. It's the bright light at the end of the tunnel.
Sure, yeah.
It's the shining brony flying in the sky.
The shining brony.
The shining brony.
Yeah.
That's what we could call the new channel. The shining brony.
Shining
bronies.
What? No, because if we do the shining brony and then just have VeggieTale stuff, like, what are people going to say? It's like, where's the pony?
Exactly. We're not going to give the people what they want.
Right. Sure thing. Anyway, how are you doing? That's a question.
That is a question. Do I have an answer? No. Moving on. How am I doing? Generally, I'm doing fine. I just, I'm doing my internship stuff a bit, which is great. I am enjoying it. At the same time, it is a little, I'm not, because I'm doing it virtually, I'm not, all in to a degree. I'm definitely doing some work, putting in an hour or two a day, but not really beyond that, because there's some stuff that just kind of takes a while. Because right now I'm trying to work on a video that I have some audio for. And basically, I'm supposed to make a compelling visual. Issue is, I basically have no footage whatsoever, right? So I basically have to find, B-roll footage.
B-roll? Do you need B-roll footage?
Well, what am I going to do? Just have the Spirit FM logo up the whole time?
Does it have to be B-roll footage?
I mean, I have no A-roll footage, basically.
Do you want me to film some stuff? I got some wigs. I can work with that.
You know what? Like, if it was my project and someone forced me to do it, I would accept that. No. That would be so funny, though. Because I'm not going to lie, there have been some moments where I've just wanted to, like, just do this comedic thing, do that comedic thing. But I'm like, no, this is for moms. Moms don't have a sense of humor.
Oh no,
I'm
they
kidding.
Sure they do.
Kidding.
I mean, just check out my wigs. I mean,
that would be so funny, though. Oh,
that's another put on that. That's gonna be another video altogether. Yes. By the way, last podcast was different. I was with CJ instead
yes.
of you.
How did that go? Because I do want to hear that episode. But...
It was great. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We talked
political.
No.
I'm kidding. I thought you guys were gonna go political, but
no. The basic conversation was theater life and how faith shapes our art. So it was more religious, theological. That's the word. That was more theological.
Okay.
Than political.
So, do you want to give me the 2-minute rundown so I don't have to listen to it?
No.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Listen to that 2-hour podcast.
I saw those 2 hours. None of our podcasts are 2 hours. I'm like, my goodness.
No. The one before was almost 2 hours.
Like, no. That was 1 hour and 30 minutes.
But we're almost 2 hours now.
It was almost 2, but you cut out the 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. No, me and CJ had a lot to talk about. Because, we're sharing stories. Even then, we had to cut it short. Because there's still so much to talk about. We're going to do another one again someday. Because it was fun. But, yeah.
You know what? We should have one episode this summer that it's the three of us. That'd be fun.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
CJ wants to too.
Oh, he does?
I actually invited him to come today.
Oh.
But the problem is he works at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
And so our podcast would be kind of running too close to his schedule. So if we could...
Then I'll have to be flexible.
Yeah, if we could find a time to record earlier, then it'd be great. He can do it with us.
All right, then we'll talk afterwards and try to figure out, because he has a job that he actually has to show up for. Well, yes. I can basically just reschedule my meetings whenever I need them to be, right? So then I want to be flexible for at least one episode. And then we'll see how it goes, and then I'll say, no, that wasn't any fun. CJ, we're not doing any episodes with you. John will, but I won't.
Oh, come on, Christopher. Don't be so
CJ.
mean.
Love CJ.
We all love CJ. I don't know why I'm laughing so much.
Because you're not at home.
No, I'm in a basement.
You're in a basement, haha.
No, also, I'm going to record a fun video in the basement.
Oh, so you have an idea.
I have an idea. It's more of a proof of concept than an actual video itself, but...
Interesting.
Yeah, basically, me...
actually, in the basement for, a few hours, and they're like, haha, haha. Oh, I have to record. Haha, haha.
No, but me and CJ are going to be working on a project together.
Okay.
That's for some theater. It's a Rust Theater project. They're going to do this presentation where we're going to make these short audio dramas, and so and it has to be done in a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. So the script is due next week. So I have all of next week to write the script because I can't do anything here. And then we have 2 weeks to actually record and get audio samples, and then we send it to them, and they will do the thing. So
is this related to Liberty?
Yes, it's basically run by the same people. It's not exactly like a Liberty thing, but it's like Liberty students are just doing this for whatever. Okay.
So no staff is involved.
Nelson's involved.
Oh, figures. I had a feeling. Like, if he wasn't involved, I'd be surprised.
It's a contest, so I don't know what the prizes is.
Oh,
but,
it's a
you know,
contest.
it's a
Is it
contest.
going to tie into SonicCon or not?
No.
Are you going to promote that? Are we sponsored by SonicCon?
We are not sponsored by Sonicon, and
Aww.
we're never going to be sponsored by Sonicon.
Aww.
We will promote Sonicon, but
Okay.
we're not sponsored by Sonicon.
Aww.
By the way, check out Sonicon. It's this audio theater convention that was canceled due to the coronavirus, but it's
Canceled! So that's it. Thank you guys for listening.
But it's coming back in October.
It was rescheduled. Get the words right.
It was postponed.
Here we go.
Yes. Go check that out. It's in October. Tickets start off and the end of the month. It's Sonic-com.org /Sonic-com.
Sonic.com.
We're a mess.
Basically, Google it. I think it actually appears when you Google it.
It's Sonic-com.org.
It's org. I said com.
Org. It's org. Org, man. Org. Org.
Good.
So yeah, me and CJ are doing that.
Okay.
I'm basically doing most of the work. Because it's my idea. And,
okay.
And basically the proof of concept is it's gonna help me figure out how the general feel is supposed to be. So yeah, that's what it's gonna be like.
So like who's gonna be like doing the post production?
It's one of the people in charge of the contest. They're gonna turn our stuff into a professional audio, whatever.
You have a professional audio, whatever though.
I think we do. I mean, they say it's professional.
Microphone?
Oh no! I mean, we're trying. Like, they're gonna edit the audio drama for us. We just send in our stuff.
Right, but like you're acting, right?
I'm acting. I have my closet. Remember?
All right, and your blue snowball microphone.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Let me think of something to make Joan laugh. Oh, ha 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 ha. That didn't work.
No.
Never mind. I give up for now.
I'm a hard man to please. Okay.
Yeah.
I am.
No, I disagree. If you are so content watching the Discovery Channel or History Channel, talking about how they're gonna find something at the temples,
I'm not content with that though. Like
but you're easy to please in that they can keep you entertained for hours upon hours.
I wouldn't say I'm pleased by it. I am intrigued by it. There's a difference.
There's a difference that I refuse to accept.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you refuse to accept my humble invitation.
To.
Awkward silence. We have to have at least one on our podcast, and I think you died. Oh no! You were just stone solid there.
Yes, I was.
Our listeners will not be able to hear that.
They would not, but we don't care.
We don't care. I don't know. What are we going to talk about? Cars. Let's talk about some cars. I don't like the new cars that they have coming out because they don't have keys.
Cars 4?
Huh?
Cars 4?
Cars.
Like, you know.
No, cars. The actual cars themselves. Our vehicles.
The movie.
Not the movie. Our vehicles.
They're
like not having keys anymore, and I hate that.
So was it going to be just an app on the phone?
Yeah, it's just like these little stump that they give you. It's like it's this.
I know what you're referring to.
Yeah, you know what we're referring to.
I've never heard it referred to as a stump before.
Well, I don't know what they call it.
Key without metal?
It's not a key. It's not a key. It's a stupid remote. That's what it is. It's a remote.
Why don't you like them?
I think because remotes, they're wireless. Their batteries will fade. It's happened before. To one of my aunts. her thing died on her, and she couldn't get into her car, which would suck. And so that's why keys, you just jam them right in, you twist them. They're made to last.
They're made to
These
last.
things are
But
not made to
But
last.
what if, okay, what if your aunt was at Walmart and she was about to get in her car and she was about to unlock the car, but then a giant dinosaur came over and took the key and chewed on it and gave it back to the aunt? Then she would have wished she had a wireless key.
No.
At least I made you smile.
No.
Yes, you smiled.
Christopher, you're not thinking practically here. Think of the practical applications of it. I get it. They wanted to make it more convenient to fit in your stupid little pocket, but still, you really should have keys as a backup.
True. Backup, I would agree. Yes. So if that is not an option, I would think that's a little ridiculous, or at least carry some extra batteries with you. Like like those, those big C batteries, that are pretty big. Like, I would definitely fit in one of those. Like, they're like the same size.
Sure, yeah. Or car battery, carry that in your pocket.
just charge your key in the car battery. It's a multi-purpose battery.
But yeah, there are some practical issues that I have with those things that could happen. Right. May not that they actually do happen, but I can see them as flaws in design.
Like, what would be one of them? Because, like, one thing I bet a lot of people are thinking is, what if you unlock the car and someone else hops in the car and drives away? That, I think, is kind of solved because what the car actually requires is the presence of the key.
Yeah, so your key does have to be present with you. And so that solves that issue. Even still, even still, you can still hotwire a stupid car.
If the person takes the key and leaves with the key, that's an issue, but that's already a practical issue itself.
And also, imagine if your key were to suddenly malfunction and your vehicle, I don't know if they have safeguards behind this, but your key malfunctions while you're driving, your vehicle can no longer access it, and at some point it just stops working in the middle of your thing. What are you going to do? That would be a big flaw. I think that I assume that they have safeguards for that. I don't know.
I think the way that would be practically solved is, or ideally, I don't know if it's practical, but it's ideal, is just like a phone that you can check the percentage.
Even that, no, you should not. I would not suggest you do anything to involve your phone in this matter.
No, I did not say phone. I said that you can check the percentage of the key battery. It's just saying, like, you can check the percentage of your phone.
I see. Even then,
you can still find something to say, no, we hate modern technology, and...
So, like, the idea of the wireless key, I mean, I get that concept, but I still think you really should have a physical key to go with that.
Yeah, I think it should complement, right? It shouldn't be exclusive.
It should be two sides of the same coin.
We are not. I don't know, but I don't think we're at a point where we can completely depend on new technology.
Yeah, because I can imagine that when you make your key wireless like that, it's much more easier to hack your car.
Much more easier. That's beautiful grammar.
Much more easier. Actually, I think that's correct grammar, though.
No, much easier.
I think the more helps. No, it's still correct grammar. It's much more easier.
I disagree with that. Moving on.
It may not sound pretty, but it's still correct.
I'll challenge that, but I'll forget. So let's move on. Someone's right, but we don't know.
It's not Christopher. Uh,
What other problems do you have with modern technology?
I don't know.
Think of something that you've seen on the news, like the PS5. Talk about why that is a terrible piece of modern technology, or something else. It doesn't have to be that.
All right, let's
That was a
see.
joke.
What design flaws can I come up with the PS5? Well, by the looks of what they're presenting us, it looks like the PS5 is made so that it's is standing tall vertically, whereas previous models are supposed to sit horizontally.
But I've seen some like game things that are vertical. So
like the Wii.
well, yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
So it's the problem with storage. I think that the horizontal design is better.
I think it should be optional.
Yeah, it actually should be optional. Whether or not you should do it one way or another, because I don't know.
It's modern technology. If you can read a disc on its side, then they can read it.
Yeah, I
right
don't
now.
particularly like it vertically, to be honest. It just looks really awkward when you put a disc into it, and just the buttons are also you gotta break your neck to take a look at it. So,
But ideally, they will turn the label so you can read it without breaking your neck.
Except they don't. So
It's
it looks cool, but I see some I don't know, some somewhat practical designs. It really depends on how your game setup
sure.
in your home works. If your home is made that's more horizontal based, like little cubbies that you could put your stuff in, that works for that.
Right.
With
But
this,
if you have your whole game system vertically, including your TV, then that's just perfect because it's
no vertical TV.
it's just like an oversized smartphone.
I don't have much in
yeah.
terms of today's topics, this conversation. If I have any.
That's okay. We can always conjure things. What's your favorite meme that you've seen about the PS5?
The Eye of Sauron from Lord of the Rings.
I'm not familiar with that one.
No, I figured. But it was the first thing I saw, and I looked at that. It's like, yeah, perfect. Makes sense.
Are you familiar with the Gordon Ramsay idiot sandwich?
Yes.
Meme? Yeah,
I'm familiar.
I saw that one of the PS5. What are you, a PS5? That's like the only meme I've seen, but I thought it was so funny.
That's pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
Yes. What other things of modern technology do you hate?
I don't have much. I don't.
Are you familiar with like the Apple keynote thing yesterday or anything like that?
Keynote? What's that?
I don't know. They like say, "Hey, we got a lot of new things that we're gonna do," which is more just, I don't know. Oh right, you don't have Twitter. I forgot.
I got nothing. I got nothing, but
Apple basically like sponsors Twitter or the other way around. Twitter sponsors Apple. Apple sponsors Twitter. I don't know, but it's just like an Apple hub on that day. Whenever Apple's like, "Hey, we got new stuff," and it isn't much, but it's still something that. But I'll be honest, there were one or two things that were interesting.
One or two things that were interesting.
So basically, like the main thing that really piqued my interest that I saw, I forget the fancy name for it, but basically, like it is a little annoying always like downloading an app for something, right? We talked about this when we talked last time, right?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the idea is that you can use the feature of an app without downloading it. And so, obviously, it's not that you can use any feature whatsoever for any app. It has to be created and developed. But I still think that's a pretty cool thing. So, like, if you are on a website and need to read some Yelp reviews, then you could pop it up or something. Or, like Google Maps. I know it's not Google Maps on iPhones, but, like, if you need to go someplace, then you could just pull up the app preview.
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like if you want to take a look at a Word document,
Yeah, that would. Oh my gosh! You know what? That's the thing. I'm sorry. Sorry for interrupting you, but
mm,
that Word app is 215 megabytes.
I know, right?
It's ridiculous, and so I cannot keep it on my phone. And at the same time, I cannot look at any Word documents on my phone.
Hmm.
That would be
Well,
glorious.
technically, you still could. You could look at it, but you can't do anything with it.
Well, I would have to check on my phone, but I think there was a time when I actually couldn't. So
It really depends on the situation, how you got that file.
it also depends on what you have on the phone that makes
True.
things available or not.
Mm.
In either case, that probably means you have a luckier phone than I do. I don't know.
I
That
can't. So I can't print documents on my phone without Word, which.
which I've never done before, honestly. But
Eh,
that would be helpful in some situations.
yeah.
I think. So like
Uh,
added to that, like I don't have the Outlook app on my phone because it takes up so much space.
but it's important.
That's
Even
why I have a computer.
except I don't track a computer every day to school, Christopher.
Bro.
That's why I have the phone.
Yeah,
So I don't need a computer.
you don't need a computer. But I hate the. How does is Microsoft that bitter that their phones don't work? It's like, oh, since you don't like our phones, then we'll just have you download these apps which take up a ridiculous amount of space, and then you will be sorry and you wish that Windows phones took off or something. Which those design, what I saw in pictures, they didn't look that fascinating. Which I see like the experience like matched like a Windows computer, which I think in that itself was kind of cool. It just I don't think it worked for a phone. But then again, I've never used a Windows phone. I would kind of like to, but whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
John. Oh, sure, yeah, I am. Everything.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, if you don't want to answer properly, just say sure. Yeah.
sure, yeah.
Or yeah, sure. It's a way of making the person feel fine, like I'm that you're actually listening to them. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
While nodding your head and smiling. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I think I had something I wanted to talk about, but
Yeah, sure.
a lot of it has to do with school, and you were
Yeah,
homeschooled,
yeah,
so
sure.
uh, I
Try
can't
me, try
really.
me.
It's so difficult. Like, have you ever gone to prom and stuff?
Oh, I've never gone to prom.
So
Have you gone to
we no,
I've
I've
never
not.
gone to prom.
No, I've avoided the prom.
It sounds like a plague. Have you
It
gone
is
to prom?
it is a plague.
Why is prom such a big deal? Like, honestly.
Mm, it's a chance to dance and look pretty.
Okay, why is dancing so amazing?
I have no idea.
I don't get it.
It's a chance. I think a lot of times at proms, depending on where you go at, it's a chance to get close to your significant other. Uh,
If you even have one.
or
If
even
you don't
try to
have one, then just pick a random person off the street
or
and be
try
like,
to
hey.
start a relationship with a significant other.
Oh.
You know.
So let me think. So basically everyone looks forward to it because ring by spring. Is that what?
Well, not necessarily the ring by spring, depending on what school you go to, but more
But
like
the
the other
spring by
thing.
ring, basically.
Or rabbits on spring. I don't know.
Yes, rabbits in spring, just like Easter.
That's exactly that's just what I'm gonna say about it. Rabbits in
Because
spring.
because have you heard the legend of the Easter Bunny?
Yeah, my cat killed him. My cat
Yes.
is a vicious hunter. She's been eating bunnies recently, so
I bet that's disgusting to wake up first thing in the morning and the cat's like, look at this bunny I killed.
well, she doesn't. She eats it outside.
Still, bloody yard.
Like whenever we found a bunny on our porch, it's still alive and trying to escape my cat. So we rescued a few. You know.
What are you gonna do with the cat? Like the
Love
cat's alone at home right now.
Yeah.
There's probably a mountain of bunnies.
Yeah, she's ate them.
Let's talk about something else. I'm tired. I don't want to talk about dead bunnies. That's depressing.
Neither does my mom, so she doesn't like my cat for that. Okay, well, let me look around in the basement here. You see, I have a few cards here.
How did you? We can talk about the cat.
I have this old card here. That's my old Hamlet family photo.
We can talk about the cat, but not the bunny. So how did you get the cat?
Okay, at the Lynchburg Humane Society.
Okay.
We went there.
Just went there and you fell in love. The end.
Pretty much. Like, she was the first cat I saw there. Like, she was in the front.
Mm-hmm.
She was like in a cage at the desk. But we went, looked around, came back, saw her. She was perfect, and I took her. I took her from her brother.
And that's the first time you went to prom.
Yeah, that's gross. No, that's not it at all. No.
What other school questions did you have in mind?
Well, no, like prom. If we're still on prom.
Okay, we can talk about prom. Like, I've never been to prom, so I can't properly judge it, but I can still have my ideas of it and thus judge it based upon my ideas.
I don't particularly like social gatherings that's just, I don't know, dancing or whatnot.
Yeah.
And like loud music and bright lights, that's just not my cup of tea.
Or they even turn off the lights.
They have fluorescent lights, I think. I have no idea. Like, I've never gone.
I've been to a couple dances at Liberty, and I just don't like them. So I feel your pain.
That's why at BronyCon, I never went to their Bronypalooza or their raves, their musical raves that they have. Because I don't like crowds and loudness. I
wouldn't mind hearing loud music that I like.
I know, like, I think you'd probably be more into it because you're more of the music guy.
But regardless, turn off the lights and turn on fluorescent lights and to have a large crowd of people and to dance to.
And a rave with glow sticks and flashing lights.
Like, is that what you're really going to do for 2 hours of your life? I'd rather go see the band live instead of just dancing to nothingness.
Well, the band is there doing the music.
Not always.
Well, in the BronyCon case, they were.
Okay, well then that's better.
And like a lot of the times, they're not actual instrumental musicians. They just made it on their computer and they just press play.
That's about a DJ.
But hey, the artist was there, so technically the band was there. They pressed the button.
They pressed the button and everyone went wild.
They led. Sometimes they'll sing, but
it's not the same when you do it, but when they do it, everyone loves it.
So yeah, I didn't go to prom. I avoided it.
Mm-hmm. Did anyone ask you to go to prom with them?
Not seriously like that. They wanted me to go. But they didn't want to go with me. They're just like, John, you should go. I'm like, heck no. Like I said, like if I was gonna go to prom, I would only go with one girl, and she's not in the country. So
That's fair. That is fair.
And like that was it. Because it's like there was only really one girl that I wanted to go to prom with, and like she wasn't there. So
regardless, even if you did go to the prom, you would just stand there.
Even if she was there, I wouldn't even ask her. It's like I would rather go
just
to my
take
friend's
her out
house.
on a date. Oh, go to your friend's house.
You go to my friend's house, like what we do normally. Just that's a good party. That's what I call a party. Like we go to our friend's house, we sit around, watch movies, have fun. It's fun.
What? That is first off, and then next. Well, obviously, whatever. Anyways, it's funny because we're both discussing about how much we don't like, that club basically atmosphere. Well, and then you're like, the ideal thing for me is to sit around the TV and watch movies.
Oh, and on top of that, Christopher, we have to pay money to go to prom.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well,
like how much?
$50.
Besides the suits, how many?
$50.
50.
Or was it 15? It's one of those two. Like the reason why is because that money went to going to a location.
Charity.
Yeah, it went to going to a location that they would have the prom at. Like they would go rent out.
Is it just a literal place, or is it like some place that's trying to raise money?
No, they would just go to a place.
John.
For seniors, I think they got to go for free because the money went. The money came out of their school fund that they had been raising for all that time. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been so long, but long story short, you kind of had to pay money, and I didn't want to pay money, and neither did I want to go. So
okay, when I went to the 2 Liberty dances, I paid for one, a friend paid for the other, but they were like $5 max, and they were for charity. Like that I could get behind.
And we're not for charity. No, we're just for our senior trip, which I didn't even go on. I didn't go to my senior trip either.
What was your senior trip?
Peru.
The beach, was it? You said.
The beach, maybe Peru. Like here's the thing: everyone wants to go to the beach. I hate the beach.
I hate the beach too, and this is coming from someone who lives in who lived in California. Yeah. So,
like, I'd been to the beach as a kid, but I don't like the beach.
What do you do at the beach? You sit there and go home. You get wet when you mess
in the water and the sand, but
you get sand stuck between your toes while you're trying to get out,
and you get sunburns and your skin peels. I don't particularly like the beach.
Just go to the pool instead. Not that that's any better, but just go to the pool instead.
Yeah, right. I don't particularly see the full appeal of the beach, but there it is. So yeah, like everyone wanted to go to the beach, and like I didn't want to go to. If I was ever to go on the senior trip, it would be to go to Disney World, which was an option. Which was an option.
It was okay,
but the problem was that it would cost way too much more money.
But who cares? They already paid all that money for prom. They could have just canceled prom and gone to Disney World.
And everyone just wanted to go to the beach, so they went somewhere. To the coast mainly.
Is that what the high school seniors want? They're like, okay, we've worked so hard these past 12 years. How are we going to celebrate? Let's go to the beach for a week. Well, I mean, how else would you have celebrated anyway?
To be fair, our school did other things too. They helped out with churches.
I'm sorry. I'm just realizing how ignorant I am as a person. It's like I hate everyone and everything they come up with, except for wireless keys. Proceed.
So yeah, like they would go. They went to about a few different churches, help out with kids and stuff. I think that's what they did. But they also had their free time at their coast and the beach. So it wasn't all fun and games. I know that for us, we had disastrous things go on at the senior trip in the past, especially in our school. And I think my class surprisingly was very tame.
Okay.
Because before, the senior trip was it's a wholly sinful place.
A wholly sinful place. That's the
one
biggest.
one of my friends was talking about their senior trip, and it's like, oh my gosh, like so many people were sneaking out and making out and having sex. People
We don't say that word on here. I'm kidding.
We're not going to say the other words for that, but that's the plainest thing that they were doing. They were also sneaking in alcohol and drinking it, and my friend was accused of sneaking the alcohol, which she didn't. She wasn't involved in that. It was her roommates. And
That's a bummer.
And like they wouldn't give her diploma.
What?
Yeah, they wouldn't give her a diploma because of that, which like was super frustrating. So like, yeah, my high school was very.
Then again, to a degree, your high school diploma doesn't really matter.
It mattered there. It really mattered there.
Okay.
This is Ecuador we're talking about.
Okay.
So it really matters.
Wow.
Eventually, they gave her diploma. But it was
then it was too late.
No, it wasn't too late.
Okay.
But
I was like that narrator in the story,
really
in those stories,
All right,
but it was too late. Little Johnny went home with his head hanging down, choking back the tears as he went to face his parents.
So yeah, it was a really gruesome time, and for those senior trips, which is why I was like, I don't want to go on that trip.
Here's the thing: if those things keep happening, why would they even continue doing the senior trips? Thank God that your class was tame, but that's not a guarantee.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, I didn't know this stuff. Like, they kept that thing silent because they didn't want stuff like that be known.
That makes sense. But still,
it's like it's the last week that these students really have here, and it's like, oh my gosh, like really?
If you're really to go off like that, probably just save it for college. Not saying that's better or worse, but I think it's worse to disappoint those teachers that last week than.
Yeah, and it's like
that's not an approval for anything.
I'm leaving out details that are just so disgusting.
Right.
Because podcast, and I'm not. It's just I don't want to think about that.
How young is our youngest listener? Oh, right, we don't have any. Never mind.
we have more listeners on Anchor than we do YouTube, to be honest.
Really?
We have one listener from Italy.
From Italy.
Yeah.
We love you people.
Italy, Pakistan, Turkey or something. I don't know.
John would check right now, but he doesn't have a computer.
I don't. So yeah, senior trip. I didn't go.
Yeah, that's why.
I didn't go. Instead, I spent time with my teachers, and they gave me private lessons, on stuff that they would have covered.
They loved you because
they did. They loved me. One professor printed out a bunch of papers that says like John Appreciation Day, and he put it on all the lockers. Because he was fun.
So, then who would go on the senior trip besides the students?
A few teachers, or maybe some parents to chaperone. But it's like sometimes they're not. You would think watchful because it's like there's only so many people that they. I know,
but you would think that if the parents are there,
even then, like they'll keep it secret, and only snitches get stitches. That whole situation happens. So yeah, it's just I felt bad for my friend, and just.
I bet she didn't even show up to the graduation.
Oh, I don't remember. I didn't even go.
so, I mean, hey, I'll be honest. Like, so many people were moping about how they're missing out their graduation this year, and honestly, I'm like, I actually envy you. As much as I would hate that Corona would happen during my senior year because that means I wouldn't see the people again, I don't want to sit for 4 hours under the hot baking sun listening to people.
Oh, no, like we were inside for our graduation.
Okay, but our graduation at Liberty is going to be ideally outside.
I know.
We have a political person to come over.
Let's hope it rains so that we're all inside.
True.
In our different stations.
True. Hey, listen, I'm not against a special speaker at graduation, but for Liberty, since we already have political speakers coming every month, we, you know, you would think by that point we were already be converted to Republicanism, that we could just have a motivational speaker for graduation. Just saying. Unless it's the president. That's the only. I don't care who the president is. That's the only thing that I would. Provided he doesn't make it a full political rally, right? Okay, that's the thing. You can bring a political person, just don't make it a political rally.
This is my graduation we're talking about here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So yeah, in high school, our graduation was the students would choose who they wanted to speak, and so they would have that person speak.
And who was that person?
It's always one of the professors.
Oh, I thought it was like someone.
No, it's our professors.
Okay.
And so
basically, they just chose their favorite professor. It didn't make them do any work.
That was pretty much it.
Figures. Same professor every year, I bet.
No.
Okay.
No, each student has each class has their favorite professors.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I didn't go on my spring trip. I stayed at school. I actually went to school every day, even though there was really nothing to do. But
sorry.
I learned a few things, because I stayed for extra Bible classes and whatnot. My phone is just there we go.
I mean, I'm not surprised that you would just go to school just to go to school.
It's like when I didn't have anything, I just sat in the library and watched videos.
Your videos.
Pony videos.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I go to a friend's house, or a friend will go to my house, and we hang out there. Also, my close friends didn't go on their trip as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And luckily enough, they gave us money that was left over from the trip.
That's a plus.
Yeah, because originally it was that they weren't going to give you money. Even though we raised that money for years. But they ended up giving us our share of money for the college fund, which I was so happy for. Yeah. And I'd said that so many times earlier on with my friends, I don't want to go on the trip, just give us our share of the money for college and stuff. And luckily they did. I didn't spend it on college, but it was
God. It's amazing. Just like how you're like oh, you give us the money for college. But I didn't spend it on college.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, hey, who's gonna suffer? You. But who's getting the laugh? Me. So
I didn't suffer at all. I mean, it was really my parents who suffered because they spent the money.
Oh, they did.
They pretty much spent my college money. So.
But hey, you're going to college. Are you going? Yeah. So we're like we like it's funny because we see all those rich kids at Liberty, who live in commons and had their hydro flasks, and I'm here for free, saving money. Except I'm going on campus next year, so then I'm gonna be part of the laughing stock. So that's.
But you and I, we're closer.
True. How much? I am curious. How much money? Not that I'm one of those like, oh, I have to know everything, but I kind of am at the same time. Like, was it thousands of dollars or a couple $100s?
It was just a few $100s.
Few $100s? Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot.
Okay, but it was still something.
Honestly, no, all that money I had was spent at BronyCon, I think. Yeah.
Going to BronyCon? Or
well, no,
stuff?
like at the BronyCon. Stuff at the BronyCon.
Okay.
My memorabilia.
Yes, that you're about to sell.
No, I'm not selling
I'm
my
kidding. I'm kidding. Did you start on that project?
I mean, it's still the way I left it, you know. I picked out some items to start with. I cleaned them off.
Okay.
Just waiting to get the information for shipping and stuff. Then it will start the actual.
Where are you getting the information from?
My sister.
Okay.
Because like she's sold stuff before online, so I need her information to help me out with the shipping costs.
Did your thing arrive?
Oh yes, it did. It did.
Look how happy you are.
Yeah, it was so cool. I mean, here's the thing. It's like, it's so cool, and it's also a slight disappointment.
Why?
Just here and there. Like,
well, I mean, I guess, especially after waiting...
it's one of those things. It's a thing. It's an object of the world, essentially.
Right.
So like, you think this thing's gonna help you fill your need, but it doesn't. Doesn't fill the void,
Right.
and so basically, it's that. You know, I wanted this, but I didn't want it to fill my void. I just really wanted it. So
yeah,
I have it. It's not filled my void, but you know, it's cool. I love it.
That's a very interesting thing that you actually bring up, because I'll say that me personally, like, I feel like I've gone into a place where I don't feel as much anymore, or not as much.
I know what you mean.
It's, and I'll say, like, I do feel like part of it kind of stemmed from the accident, because I was at a point where I was like harassed, whatever, you know, being harassed by the trauma of the accident, that I was just trying not to feel, so it wouldn't, you know, hurt me.
I know what you're talking about, Christopher. I've had the same feelings. I've had the same feelings.
Isn't that weird though? Isn't that weird though? That I just, you know what I mean? Because I don't know. It's, I don't know how I feel about it. Do you have any words of wisdom, John?
Depends on what area of expertise you want.
The area that we're talking about right now.
Which specific area? The feeling of loneliness, the feeling of despair.
I'm not feeling lonely. I'm just...
You have me around.
Disappointed.
You're disappointed.
I'm just like, I wish... I want to feel again. Like, I don't have to, like, be, like, one who's always tickled by something, right?
Yeah.
However, like, for example, like, you know how much I love music, right? So, ideally, I listen to music to find music that I really enjoy. And I've listened to a lot of music. Like, maybe not as much as I kind of want to, but I have listened to a lot of music. However, there hasn't been a lot of music that like revives my soul almost. You know what I mean? And I feel disappointed to a degree, because I'm like, I want to feel. I feel like this is a little more than just like part of it is like, I do need to like really focus more on, like, you know, relying on God for the constant
part of it. A large part of it has to do with your spiritual need. But that hole is not going to be filled.
Right. And I mean, I get that, but I just, at least, like I don't like being unemotional. That's the thing.
It takes time.
True.
It takes time. And it takes moving forward in different directions. And it takes other people in your life as well.
How are some this is related but unrelated, but whatever. Like, what are some things that you do to try to keep your spiritual walk healthy? I don't know if I've asked you before, but it's good to
Right.
bring up regardless.
Well, it's been terrible recently, but basically, I try to do as just try read a new passage every day. Oh, I gotta plug my phone in. Try a new passage every day.
Mm-hmm.
Try to be consistent on that.
Mm-hmm.
Try to create a habit of prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess also just probably look up new sermons.
So, like, how often do you listen to sermons?
Ooh, not often, but when I do, I listen on Moody Radio sometimes.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so when I do, it's really nice.
I'll be honest. Been playing with some Legos, so that was what that noise was. I'm sorry.
Legos are cool, yeah.
I apologize for I have been listening. I swear.
You have been listening, you swear.
But I've also been playing with Legos. Anyways.
That you swear on that too, yeah.
Yeah, I guess, what do I want to say? I've been trying to be consistent, but I still fail. That's the hard thing, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that. Yeah, there's nothing else really to add to that. Really, I fail. I want to read my Bible every day, but then as soon as either I get caught up with stuff or I forget, or that's kind of how it is sometimes.
Also, you really need community in that aspect.
True.
Something to share in your suffering.
True. Which, like I've mentioned before, I really appreciate that you have this idea of meeting up basically weekly to talk.
I do.
And because you're the person I, not physically, but kind of, because I do text some people, but talk to on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
There is actually, so I'm moving on campus to be a CGL, and so we have a group of guys that's part of the hall leadership, and so we're going through teams. So we meet up Wednesday nights to talk about the passage that we read, which is pretty cool to have something like that that's somewhat consistent. Yeah. Don't make me crack my joke.
Yeah, also, it takes, depending on who you are, a mentor. Someone to help guide you. And just lead you. They come to you or you find them. That's a patient thing.
That's a good point.
That's one of the biggest things I always recommended to each of my kids.
Your kids?
At the summer camp.
Okay.
Was that they needed mentors, especially at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
They helped to guide them, strengthen them in their walk with Christ, and shape them.
I'm sorry, but I thought you were going to admit to some secret life. No, I didn't, but whatever.
My secret life with kids.
So, you know what I think I kind of realized is that, one thing I've kind of been doing to somewhat fill the hole a bit is comedy. Because, that's the closest to anything that kind of makes me feel at this point, is that to laugh, right? If the music isn't, if it's not making me feel like I'm soaring, then I would go to comedy to get some laughs, to feel.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of realizing how long I've been like this. Well, I do feel like I've like the music thing has been kind of recent, like since the accident. But the comedy thing, like that's been legit been a thing for a bit. So,
Right. Yeah. I take a look at the Brony fandom, and you saw in the documentary itself that a lot of the examples of people who were bronies were people who were depressed and whatnot, and they watched My Little Pony and it helped fill their void a bit, and they became happy. There's a lot of stories like that, and that's pretty much how people do it. They fill it by doing something else, by watching something else. They help create communities out of it, and it'll probably last for a bit. Eventually, you're gonna have to deal with it fading away, and that's where you go to other things to fill the void until eventually there's nothing left that really pleases you anymore, and that's where we all need Jesus.
Right. That's a very interesting point that you made in relation to like the connection of community, right? Like a lot of people argue like all you need is Jesus. That's
no,
partially true.
Yeah.
The thing is that Jesus or God, just God, Trinity to Godhead. Yeah. God didn't just say I exist, you exist, all you need is me. He made an earth with food that has its cycles for it to just run forever almost. Not really, but you know.
Right, yeah.
And then he also made people. So to say all you need is God. Just a moment. I just got an email.
What?
From Liberty. It's like the subject title was early arrival request status. The email reads, Christopher, your request to arrive on campus early on whatever date has been approved. I never sent a request. It's obviously because I'm a CGL, but that was just funny because I never submitted anything like that.
Okay,
so,
back to the conversation at
whatever.
hand.
So, like, that kind of just reinforces the aspect of community. Because God is not going to end. Like, your pony show, I didn't mean to say it that way, but, you know.
Yeah.
You know, the My Little Pony show has ended, and it's going to evolve into something else, which is going to carry on some of the fans, but not all. It's not going to be the same form of community.
No.
There have been some lasting friendships that have been made, but that's not the case for everybody.
No.
Now, yeah, when it comes to, like, God and Christianity and such, like, it's not to say that you're going to have those friends forever, but you have something that you have in common with any Christian that you meet, a relationship with God. And he's not going to end, and he's not going to change, and provided that you are seeking him together. I mean, that's honestly really...
And that is why we go to church. Not to sit in a pew and listen to a guy tell us about Jesus.
Pew, 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 pew.
Hush now. But we also go mainly for community. Be there with other people to worship for each other and for Jesus. A big aspect of the church group isn't just the preaching, it's the community. And you can't have a church without community. Because the church is more than just a guy telling you how much Jesus loves you.
And so, I think you know where I'm kind of going. Like, you go to Calvary, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't think you've really had, like, strong community there, right?
Mishimi. Mishimi means small.
Is that Japanese or something?
No, Mishimi is Guarani.
Okay.
Sorry. So that's my missionary.
How do you feel about that, though? Like, would that make you want to find a different church, or what is making you stay at Calvary?
Well, Calvary. I like Calvary. I went to the small youth groups there for a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
When we were there. Eventually,
Remember, I always used to show up late.
you did, yes. It kind of just we stopped going because, well, people changed all the time,
Bro.
and
God
well,
didn't. I'm sorry.
it got
Proceed.
didn't. And
Proceed.
also Jim left as well.
Yeah.
So, not to say that Ace is not good enough, but it's also like
You miss Mr. Jim.
not quite. I'm getting older, and it's like I can't do this forever in that circumstance.
You mean be a college kid?
Yeah. I mean, I can't be the college kid every time. But it was a start. I don't know what I'm saying.
But if it started, did it lead to something?
The Edge wasn't really the best for a community for me. I'm gonna be honest.
I agree.
It was much better at church being a greeter.
Because it was more consistent.
It was more consistent, and you're meeting almost the entire body of the church.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you build this relationship with your other greeters.
Right.
I don't remember fully their names or all their stories, but I know their faces.
Right.
And I know they're good people. And I recognize them. And so that's where that community for me comes from.
That makes sense. I guess oftentimes people don't recognize how serving can build community sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Not always.
I think back to something that a professor of mine told us. Saying there are two things that people need to live besides the basic water and food and stuff. They need community and they need hope.
Hmm.
And if you lose one, you are in desperate danger of injuring yourself, essentially. You can live with just hope, but if you're just hopeful without community, there's so much the hope can bring you. There's only so much. And then if you're just community with no hope, I mean, the community is nice, but there's no hope. What's the point?
Right. That's deep.
That's deep.
I'm not just saying that like that.
It is deep. It's deep and personal.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see it in a lot of people's lives. You can see where they lose their community, where they lose their hope. A lot of people don't have either, so.
I don't know what your status is, but I could guess, and I'll get to that. But
Okay.
for me, that's part of the reason why I'm moving on campus is because I want something a little more if it's not necessarily consistent, but more or less constant or present. Because I know a lot of people at Liberty, but do we really know each other? Only a few, and even that it could be deeper, right?
Yeah.
So, I want to move on campus to be able to connect, closer to some people. Am I nervous about it? Yeah, because I almost know nobody, right? I looked at my roommates. I have no idea who they are. I tried looking them up on Instagram. I cannot find them because I live on Instagram.
Yeah.
Or used to until a month ago when the world changed again. But I am nervous, but I think it'll be good. But I don't know fully what your circumstance is, but like I've mentioned, I am thankful for what we do, and I know I keep playing with Legos. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
But I bet I am one of those people who is constant in your life that we do consistently meet and talk, right? And
yeah.
And I don't know how many people are like that in your life, and I'm gonna assume not many, right?
A good handful.
Oh, okay. So you have more than me, John. Okay.
I mean, sure, I have more than you, but
I'm kidding.
you and I, we talk the most, I think.
Yeah. Like there are definitely like some friends I text. However, like I'll be honest, like this past week or two, like I've barely texted them just because like I mostly text people through Instagram, and it's just been like I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm trying to get off an antidepressant that I was prescribed to after the accident to help with my anxiety, which has been great. But now I'm trying to get off it, and the world has just gotten crazier, or at least it's being portrayed as crazier, right? There is a difference, and it's not mixing well for me. So I'm just trying to like limit my time on there. As much as I hate interacting with people less, like I'm kind of like, it's weird because like I'm gonna be fed both, right? I'm gonna be fed this constant fear and community, and I'm like, I'm still going to have some form of community. However, I want less of the fear that's being fed. But like I was kind of saying, like when I met you was the day before classes started. Like, you know, that was the beginning, and like I was younger, right?
Yeah, you were.
We both were, but I mean, in the fact that like I had lived overseas for 7 years, I barely had. I'm so starved of people. I'd lived overseas and basically mostly interacted with my family, occasionally with some church people.
Right.
But, and then I met some people online.
And plus, you were homeschooled as well.
Yeah, homeschooled. So like I was afraid of coming back to America. Like out of all of the family, like I was the most resistant because I hate change. But like I was, you know, like I lived my teen years overseas interacting with nobody. And I'm like, I'm gonna be going back to where people have been cultured and have been hanging out with people and such. I'm like, I don't know how to interact with people like normally, right? And yeah, I've had my share of things. Like when we were talking about crushes, like I can't believe that episode on Spotify, but whatever.
What?
It is, I bet, but it's okay. Whatever.
What do you mean? What are you trying to say?
We did a whole episode about our crushes. Remember?
Yeah, but what are you saying about it?
Like, it's not necessarily I regret it, but you know, it's you know, it's like it's a box you don't want to open. And that you hope that won't haunt you in the future. That's it.
It's a deeply personal thing, of course, that when you look back on it years later, it's be like, oh, I don't know if I wanted to say that. But, you know, he said it.
Yeah, so whatever.
We're going to live with it.
Provided it doesn't haunt me, that's the only thing.
I mean, if it doesn't haunt you then, it's going to haunt you when we meet the Lord.
I don't need that. I don't need this negativity, John, okay?
I love you, man.
I just want love and positivity right now.
I just said I loved you.
Thank you, John. I love you too.
Yeah.
So, like, we first met, though. Like, I will say, like, during the first year, like, I couldn't really grasp our friendship. I don't know if you could tell or not, but, like, I didn't know what I wanted from people. Like, I wasn't getting what I was expecting. And I feel like in the same way, I couldn't give what I wanted.
Yeah.
And what others expected. Like honestly, if I do look back at it, like you know, before the 1 year at Liberty, like there was the only people I was interacting with was people at church, and I did some things honestly, like there was a point where I'm like, I have no idea why these people aren't treating me right. Regardless, I still feel like that I'm not calling myself a victim necessarily, or like I'm it's not that I'm trying to call out some injustice, but I do feel like that some people have just had this weird, just negative sense towards me that has made me uncomfortable. This is weird, but like, you know how some people are talking about white privilege and how like, now I'm not necessarily using that term white privilege in this sense, but
Yeah.
the base of, like, I read one article that talked about white privilege, so I'm going based off this one definition of basically like when a white man enters a grocery store compared to when a black man enters a grocery store, like how like a white man has no fear while the black man may feel some resistance. Like, what the base of that is perception. Perception is not always reality, but perception is key. Because like I could assume, like I could assume that with someone like I could assume we're not on good terms. So that's going to prevent me from wanting to talk to them. When that may not even be the case. I bet you've had that experience before where you just feel uneasy about a person, but really there's no bad blood. It's all, it's just your perception that flaws reality. So this is not me trying to make a political statement. Like I don't want to talk. We try not to get political. Like I could explain it. Like I could say I'm a victim of white privilege. For those who don't know, I'm mixed. Okay, but I just want to say that perception is key. Like your emotions or perceptions may be invalid, but they exist, right? Mm-hmm. So, anyways, with like I feel like I've perceived some people of not liking me, especially at church, right? That may be wrong, but that's the impression I've gotten. And I do look back and I do feel like I have not. There were times where I'm like, I wish I didn't do that or say that or whatever that. I mean, bear in mind, give me some mercy. I lived in Korea for 7 years with nobody except my family, right? Regardless, like, sometimes you don't notice some things. Anyways, I do want to say, but like I can't know exactly how that was going, but like I don't feel like during the first year I knew you, like I really treated you properly,
right?
And like I've given my excuses, and I do feel like they are valid to some degree, but at the same time, to some degree, no excuse is ever 100% valid.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But especially, I feel like especially throughout this time of doing this podcast, it might have stretched before, but I do feel like it was really the podcast that I've really come to appreciate you as a good friend who does care and is an amazing blessing in my life. And I do I'm very thankful and grateful. God's weird how he works, but he works regardless. And I am really thankful for you as a friend.
I do have some things to say about you.
Okay. Uh-oh.
But I'm going to wait.
Okay.
And save them for our 1 year anniversary of the podcast.
Are you just going to...
No, Christopher. It's just, don't worry about it. It's nothing bad.
Okay, good. I just want to say, like, I am sorry because I do feel like I've not, like, in the first year, I don't feel like I treated you properly always, but you were consistent, and your consistency has birthed into something special. I am thankful. So
I try.
It worked.
It worked. Sure. Yeah. So yeah, what you were saying earlier about not liking people, your perception of them. Mm-hmm. It kind of reminds me of something. I think I talked to you about this before a while ago. We were going to work on a project about sin.
Yes.
And about dealing and living with sin. Mm-hmm. And it was an ambitious project.
It was.
It was really ambitious. Basically, we were to take apart sin and just define it and just how do we live with it. Mm-hmm. And just going into the research with a few interviews I had done for people,
Wait, you
Uh,
had actually filmed them?
I'd filmed a couple interviews. Yes.
Really? Wow.
And so with them, there was this just huge realization was that I needed to do more than what I was thinking to do this properly. And of course, we were young,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not voices to say this. And of course, I was still living with my sin
Mm-hmm.
that I had to live with. I mean, deal with
Mhm.
and reconcile with before I can even work on that project. Because it's like I don't want to talk about this topic and be a hypocrite myself.
Yeah.
Even though I do admit that I am a hypocrite, a big hypocrite, but it's one of those things where it's like
You're a nice hypocrite.
Sure. You want to get this message done right,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want to tell this message while you're doing the exact opposite of what you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with such an important detail. And so we just postponed the project. I still want to do it, but it's something that I think that we'll have to do when we're like 50. And
Look at
so,
you planning ahead.
yeah, I'm a planner. Uh,
Okay.
and so when I discussed this with you, I think I said that the inspiration for this was that there was this other YouTube channel, a Brony YouTube channel who was a reactor, who I didn't particularly care for. And I met him in real life at BronyCon, and he was such a really nice guy. And I went to go to his YouTube channel. I was like, why did I not care for this guy? And my reasoning was I was just jealous that he had a higher follower base than I did, and he was brand new. And so I realized, this is a big part of my life that I think I should probably work on. And so that gave me the idea to work on this project with you and CJ. And I don't know. That's just kind of my. I don't know why. Oh
That's
yeah, whatever.
interesting.
That's how that thing went.
Mm-hmm. I do feel that though about that sense of jealousy. Like I totally get that. Yeah. Like it is weird how like sometimes the algorithm favors one person over another. You know what I mean?
I could say I'm jealous of you for reaching 1,000.
Right. I don't blame you, honestly.
At the same time, I don't care.
I mean, hey, I'm not monetized, so 1,000 really means nothing.
At the same time, I don't care because in the end, it's not going to mean anything.
That's actually an interesting point because I feel like that kind of leads to like a fear that I just have in general is like, because like you're probably in a similar situation where you don't have all the money in the world, right? Like our family never has had all the money in the world, right? So
No.
It's not that we've been like starving poor, but and it's never been like we've always had enough to. It kind of has been like we've had enough to get by, but not like in the dire state that the parents has to call like a meeting every week. It's like, all right, what chores did you do? How much money were like it wasn't like that, but it was obvious, and our parents did talk about our financial situations occasionally, right? So like,
Okay. So Christopher,
where was my brain going with that?
I don't know, but I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Your turn.
Yay! So, what shall I do while John has gone to the bathroom? Now it is my turn to extract. Is it revenge? I want to think. What I was talking about money. All right, yeah, I've just had a fear of not having enough money. That's the base of that, and I do feel like I still need to work on that, and trust in God more. Regardless, John is gone. I'm here. I'm still here. I think what. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to scoot down. I've scooted down. And so you cannot see me, but I can see the computer. I hope you can't see me, because if you see me in this room, I've scooted down just a tiny bit more. I don't even know if you can hear me. Oh no, he's back. All right, I'm gone. See, that's the plan. I'm not here.
Well,
I'm in the bathroom. I'm not.
Okay. What? Okay. So you didn't think of a bit to do?
Well, first off, I should have known that you were only going to be gone for so long, but I was like, wouldn't it be kind of funny if I had disappeared, but I was there the whole time? So I was probably going to do a bit down there, but you came back too soon.
You could have continued with your bit and let me just start talking out randomly.
I kind of did finish. I will say though that baseline, I've kind of had a fear in money, and I need to trust in God more. I think that's the baseline of that. Because you were talking about about your experience, and I was talking about like why like the 1,000 kind of meant a bit. Because like I'm currently unemployed, and I would like to make a little bit of money so I can do some things.
Gotcha. Yeah. And so for me,
that's patreon.com/Christopher164.
Also support us on Anchor.
Yes.
$1 makes all the difference.
Yes, it does.
Yes. Oh yeah, last time on our podcast that we did together, we had our funny bit with you going to the bathroom.
Yes.
Thoughts?
That was just fun. Like you were doing that journal thing. Like I come back on and I see you there talking, and I pop on my headphones, and I obviously have no idea what you were talking about. And that in itself was just amusing. But then I watch it, and now you were like doing like that Lost Sailor out at sea type diary.
Yeah.
Good.
Honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, that concept is basically what my audio drama is going to be about.
The friend who never came back from the bathroom?
No, the audio log idea. I'm
like, so what's the base of it? Like, why is the person writing?
Okay, so we have these two guys who are brothers.
Okay.
They live in a bunker and they think it's the apocalypse, and they log about stuff that goes on
in the bunker.
Yes, stuff goes on, and by the end of it, they discover nothing actually happened to Earth.
That's amazing.
Sure. Yeah.
How long is it supposed to be?
Oh, about 10 minutes.
It better be good. It better be good.
Hey, you know my style of writing. It can be good.
I know it can be humorous. I know you definitely have a good sense of humor. Yes.
What was humorous of what I did? Huh?
Your whole gospel? Oh. So intricate and elaborate that it made it so funny.
The Church of the Holy John?
Yes.
Yeah, but that was a school project. I mean,
it doesn't matter. This is basically a school project too.
The Church of the Holy John were basically I made a religion, a cult, about pooping in the toilet.
Do you have a page?
Not a page, no.
No, because if you did,
I'm not sharing that with other people. They're gonna have to look for it.
Fine. Should I?
No, it's a gem. Don't. Leave it be. Look at it later. Watch the presentation later.
I've seen the presentation.
You have. Watch it again.
But the one thing that amazes me about your stuff is just how long it can be. That's my complaint, I will say. Honestly. If I'm to complain about... look at me being such a hypocrite. Look how long our podcast has been.
Honestly, I love it. You know, the longer we can do it, just the more fun we have.
Okay. It's for us anyways. We're not doing this for anyone.
I mean, we could, but we don't
We
want to.
could, but we're not. That's why I'm
Well,
not listening to that podcast with CJ, because it was for you and CJ, not for me. I'm kidding. I want
Okay.
to listen to it. The topic's intriguing. As you guys talk about, is it biblical to take down monuments or not? I'm kidding.
So yeah, I guess that could be comedic sometimes.
You
Uh,
do have a sense of humor. The only issue is that you like to write long things. So for you, writing a script, 10 minutes is gonna be a miracle in itself.
Honestly, what me writing 10 minutes? For me, being short enough is actually the miracle. Oh, because like all in high school, I've had this problem with just making sure my video projects are short enough.
It wasn't the papers. It wasn't the questions in the quizzes. It was the video projects. Obviously. It's hilarious.
Yeah, because it's like I think I shared this one with you before. There was this one video for English class we had to do. It was only supposed to be 10 minutes. Ours ended up being 30 minutes. We kind of went overboard and had fun with it.
Well, I forget which project that was because you've shown me a lot of things.
That would be the 5 different circumstances. I'll show it to you again.
Yeah. I will say, if there's one thing about the friendship, it's the funny thing about you sitting me down to watch your things, and we sit there for like hours. I find it so funny how much you love watching your own stuff. I'll just say I find that hilarious.
I'm like a proud dad, you know, who wants to share their accomplishments with their children.
That makes sense.
Except it's my accomplishment.
It's yours, not.
I don't share.
You don't share it with.
I don't share it willy-nilly. I just show it to people.
That makes sense.
Certain people. Like you.
Like me. Which, there have been some things that I like. Your church thing is clever. I still have to admit it. It's clever. Because it's not just like, oh, you sit in a chair, you're holy. You have this whole thing.
I mean, a part of it is the required instructions for the church. Mm-hmm. The part of it is me going into detail to trying to make this make sense in real life.
Right.
And I accomplished it somewhat.
To the T. Whatever that means.
Huh?
You know when they say to the T, but I don't know what the T is.
To the T?
That's what they say.
Yeah, but that does not correlate to this conversation, Christopher.
But I'm saying you accomplished it to the T.
I see. Now that makes sense.
Yes, okay? It makes sense.
Yeah.
You accomplished it with green tea. Which green tea ice cream tastes horrible.
Man, water. It's good.
Indeed.
I got all these bottles of water.
How many?
I don't know. Let's see. How many empty ones do I have?
I'm curious.
9.
Hey, at least you gained the water in, which is important.
9 that's in this room right now.
That means there's more.
Yeah, there's more. They're in the recycling.
Okay, well, at least you know when to clean up.
We have a recycle bin. Yeah.
I bet John's wondering how long can we go. This is going to be an issue with CJ. Is that we're going to go so long that he's going to skip his job.
Well, no, like he's going to leave, and like.
No, he won't. He's too nice to leave.
No. We'll let him leave.
I'm kidding. He's very punctual.
We're gonna let him leave, and he's gonna go to work, and we're gonna talk about him behind his back.
Yes. Oh, it's gonna be the best podcast ever.
When he's finally on board, back to school.
Should we? Here's an idea.
Huh?
It may be a lot to coordinate because we know how busy CJ can be. But it would be fun if we did the VeggieTales thing with him.
I know. I know CJ likes VeggieTales too.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that it might be a bit more of a hassle with him.
Yeah. It's because we don't love him. I'm kidding. Just with all his theater stuff. Like, it's...
And his job, so...
Does he have a job at Lynchburg?
I mean, he does... He did, but he'll probably get another one again.
Oh, wait, no.
There's
he does have a second one. I forgot.
Yeah.
He works
Caesar to go
in
as
my
well.
mom's office. Actually.
Yeah, he does, yeah. He told me that.
Oh, okay. And you barely get theater gigs, so you're pretty much free. You're pretty much free anyway.
Wow, that makes me feel so... it makes me feel so proud of myself.
I'm sorry.
Thank
They should hire you for more of the theater stuff.
Oh, it's just me. I'm not good enough.
No, you are.
I'm not good enough for them. That's the thing. I don't fit their needs for their shows. That's it.
Bro. If they ever rerun that one show, freezing with a cup of tea.
I'm in it, man. I'll do it.
Yes, that was a fun one.
I'll leave my wife and kids for it.
Good. That's the spirit.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit. That's how a Christian man does theater.
Yeah. You're like the only cast person who's never fallen in love on stage. He's like, everyone else has. Well, wait, CJ hasn't. Has he?
Let's see. CJ. He's been a father before.
Right. I don't remember him ever falling in love.
So, like, the story where he actually goes and falls in love. No, I don't think he has either.
Okay.
For me, have I ever done that?
Did you see Bedford Boys?
Yeah, I worked.
Did he have a wife?
No, he did not have a wife.
Okay. Wow.
He talked about girls in the show sometimes, but he did not have a wife.
So he did not have a acting love interest.
No, he did not.
That's intriguing.
Let's see. One of my shows.
Because it feels like everyone from the 3 shows that I've seen.
Yeah, I get that too. I got married in one show.
Wait, you did?
Yeah, that was my first show.
Not at Liberty.
No, not Liberty. It was in high school.
Okay.
One of my shows was I was getting married. That was one of the big plots of it.
Isn't it intriguing how everything, it reflects how much we crave love from God, but it's really intriguing how so many stories have to rely on romance.
I mean, I've been married so many times.
Oh no! Look at the pagan I'm talking to.
Yeah, I've been married so many times in my shows. Second show, I was married to a guy.
You were playing a woman.
Not actually in the show, but it was just a fun joke that me.
Okay.
And
it was a joke.
It was a joke. Me and the other guy had was like.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that.
It's because because the show was like the two of us are arguing throughout the entire show. And so.
How's the best way to solve it? You get married.
Well, no. And the joke was because we also had wedding rings on as props. And so we looked at each other, it's like, it would be super funny if secretly we're just married. And this just us, and this whole fighting that we're having is just a marital argument. And so that was that joke.
I mean, it is funny, but I mean, you are a pagan, so what more was I supposed to expect?
Right.
I mean, I'm. Should I say this?
Go ahead.
A pooping pagan.
Okay.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I don't actually.
No, Church at the Holy John. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so my third show, again, I was a father, except I didn't have a wife there. Okay.
Okay.
My fourth show, I had a wife, but I didn't know who she was.
Isn't that
Oh, so technically I did have a love interest. It was kind of semi
you had a wife
one-sided.
and a love interest? That's beautiful, John.
Well, no, because the wife was more so trying to get me to remember who she was, and me, it was like, please stop that. I have a wife. Is what I was what my character was, and so technically, I did have a love interest there, ish, debatable. My last
That's
show in high
that's an
school,
interesting show.
yeah, my last show in high school, um, I was married with a few kids. Uh, that was nice. That was a nice one. I I'll talk with CJ about that in a different podcast later because that's a fun one to talk about.
Yeah.
And then the last show I worked on, again, I was married. The one that you saw, I was married. In that one,
But your wife wasn't in it.
no, and it never says I have a wife, but I had a wife, and she was pregnant.
Okay. Awesome.
See, this stuff happens when you're an actor. You create your stories.
That makes sense. Did you make it or did they make it and you said,
I did.
okay?
I did it. I created my own wife and my
I
own.
guess that makes sense. I wonder if we talked about it, but it helps you play the character, right?
Uh, I mean that's the process of building your character. Is that you create the world and the history within the world. Again,
Why not?
I need to talk to CJ about that one because it's a fun theater conversation that you don't know.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to such
Anyway,
a productive conversation.
anyway, back to school.
Back to school.
I don't know. Do I have anything left to talk about school? I do actually, but
Oh,
I just don't remember what they were.
here comes part 2 of our podcast,
No,
of our 4-hour podcast.
this is still one part, Christopher. This
Oh,
is really one long part. We're
Oh.
getting to 2 hours, okay? We'll make your wish.
I did not wish that.
This will be our longest podcast together.
All I wished was that we didn't please anyone.
Except ourselves.
Yes, except ourselves.
And God.
And God. Right. I'm sorry. We forgot you, but we remembered eventually.
I did.
Yikes. Hey, at least we talked about him for 20 minutes. And that was an honest conversation.
An
So,
honest conversation. We talked about.
but then you went to the bathroom and ruined it.
I ruined it. Yes. We could
All
go
right.
back to that conversation.
But no, you have something to talk about school. What is this?
I don't actually, do I? I don't.
You're disappointing me.
I am disappointing you.
Amazing.
I am amazing. School, I have to really think about it. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. You can't remember.
I mean, going back to what you were saying, how you were kind of hesitant to leave Korea. Was that right?
Yeah. Yes.
And me, in that case, I just wanted to leave Ecuador.
Mm.
By the end there. I was just so tired at that point.
How many years have you lived in Ecuador?
5.
5 years. Were
5
you in a
years.
different country before that, or were you in America?
I was in Paraguay before that, 10 years.
So you basically lived 15 years overseas.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Nothing
against that. I'm just trying to flesh out the background so I can sympathize better.
Yeah, Ecuador.
But I would totally get that.
Ecuador, I was just done. I wanted to leave because problems with the country itself, the government system, the school,
much how we feel like about America right now.
That's one of those things that I do miss about Ecuador, is not hearing anything about the United States.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I do appreciate our country, but just how the last month has been, and how some people, we try not to get political, but we do. Like here, I just want to say about the defund the police. I just
Okay.
want to say, I do believe in re-education for our police officers. Defunding, I'm not for that, because if you get rid, basically, like if you have a law, right? There's going to be some people who's going to respect it, right? Not everyone's going to respect the law, right? But if the law is not being enforced, you can't expect everyone to follow it. You know what I mean, right?
Mm.
Right? And the law helps bring some sense of peace, right?
Yeah.
If there was some great alternative to the police, like I heard one city's like, we are going to have like trained civilians. I legit hope that works out for them. I really do. I want to hear about that experiment, and I hope it goes well for them. But what I'm hearing
Uh,
in San Francisco, that they're saying we're like, what did I hear? Like social workers unarmed. Like, I'm thinking good luck. Good luck, because if you're just gonna have unarmed social workers in place of the police, I doubt that's gonna work. I'm just
mm-mm.
saying, like something like this makes me uneasy, right?
Okay.
That's all I just want to say. As
Yeah.
that makes me uneasy to be living in this country.
Mm. Yeah. But Ecuador, it was just things that had been built up for years.
Hmm.
Mm. And just personal stuff that happened
Yeah.
during that time. Uh, eh, you know, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 I was really paranoid,
Mhm.
really by the end of that. Just yeah,
Like, what year did you actually move? Like, did you?
it was 2017, and like near the final weeks I was there, Americans were getting mugged, and so
You're like, yeah, to choose one or the other.
right,
Yeah, I feel that.
and
That was actually
so
part of my fear of. Sorry to interrupt, but
and
part of my
so
coming
and
back
so
to.
it's like honestly, we'd been there for 5 years, never had any problems. And it's like, oh, I don't want to have it happen the last time I'm here. And so it's like you just get so paranoid.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
You moved to America.
Mm-hmm.
What month did you move to America?
I I don't remember.
I stumped
Probably
you.
it's probably June or July.
June or July.
Uh,
Because I'm just trying to put in some context about like when we met, which was obviously August.
we met in August after BronyCon.
Like, how many weeks like between like
Oh, between BronyCon, it was probably like one or two.
wow, that's
It was,
amazing.
it was really close. Um,
Sorry.
you yawned. Yeah, our listeners won't
How
be
often
mature.
have I been yawning?
I not often.
Okay, good.
Not as much as Jonathan does.
I can't even
You
do
watch
that.
any of our stuff, any of our videos together, and like he's young and like you'll see me looking over like, what are you yawning for?
Did you ever
See,
use you looking over at him for a thumbnail?
huh? No, I don't.
Oh.
Use what? Sorry, what?
Did you use him yawning and you looking over at him as a thumbnail?
No, we just took custom pictures.
Custom pictures? Okay.
Yeah. Early days of thumbnail making.
What were we making? Talking about?
Ecuador.
Ecuador. Yes. Continue.
Yeah, like I didn't want to go to Ecuador because I wanted to go back to Paraguay. Was one big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, Ecuador was a good thing. Yeah, because that's where my best people were. So
It sounded like you had a lot more to say.
a lot more to say in what regards?
I don't know, but
Which section?
Because I kept interrupting you, and then you're like, yeah, all right, fine, I'll just kind of finish. I am a bad man.
No, you're not a bad friend.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I tend
Sure.
to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be. I know. Yeah, there's not really much else to say about that in respect about that. But yeah, I didn't want to go to Ecuador at first because I want to go to Paraguay because that's where I was for like 10 years, and that's the people that I knew. Even though it wasn't a good culture for me back then.
But that sense of familiarity.
Yeah. But in the end, Ecuador worked. It was good for what I needed to be at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here now, so here we are.
Yes. And you're pretty happy?
On and off. On and off. I'm happy enough.
You're happy enough, but you could be
Yeah.
happier, John.
Honestly, everyone could be happier at any point. So
So,
I'm more happier than I was years ago. So
more happier. Why, John?
why what?
Grammar.
Oh, my grammar.
More happier, John. Why?
I have to put those. What would you call them?
Words.
Adverbs, adjectives.
They're words, John.
They're more expressive words.
I have not taken an English class in a few years, so I.
Hey, get Disney Plus. They have Schoolhouse of Rock. Schoolhouse of Rock. Sorry. Those fun things.
I made you laugh.
No, I'm more laughing how this podcast is really falling apart.
It's like every episode it falls apart even further.
We always fall apart because it's
We
like
always do.
we always do because we can go further and we go deeper. It's also like, should we go deeper? Should we go further? I don't know.
Sure.
Sure. We could.
Yeah. Sure.
We could. It really depends on the specific questions that you ask, Christopher.
That I ask.
That you have to ask me. You have to ask me specifically because there are some things I will not talk about unless you ask me specifically.
That's the tricky part about the friendship because you say something and you trigger me to go off talking for 5 minutes. Well, I have to press and probe, and I'm either like, is he comfortable talking about it, or is there just nothing that he wants to say?
Yeah, I'm a difficult person.
You are difficult.
I really am.
Because I texted you happy birthday, and I don't think you ever responded.
No, I don't like responding.
You could have just given me a thumbs up.
No.
It's like, thank you.
Thank you, Christopher. Oh yeah, my birthday. Okay, let's.
What about your birthday?
I don't like telling people that's my birthday.
I mean, I understand that.
I don't like being told happy birthday.
I understand you saying I don't like telling people it's my birthday because it's almost like for a moment, hey, worship me, it's my day. Weird way to put it.
I don't know. I'm tired of hearing happy birthday and people saying happy birthday to me.
Then what do you want, John? What do you want?
A more personal message than just happy birthday. Tell me something that's more specific and meaningful instead of just happy birthday.
Joy's day of your birth.
That's not meaningful. Not to me, Christopher. Yeah. So birthday, I don't like.
Today is a joyous celebration of the anniversary of your birth. Be merry. Be glad.
That's not specific between you and me, Christopher. That's just a generic specification about me. And so yeah, happy birthday. It's like, yeah, I like my birthday. And I there's only so many times I can hear happy birthday, and like you hear it so many times. How many times does it actually meaningful, or how many times it's just people, they see it and it's like, oh, I should probably just say happy birthday. It's so easy to say that. And so I have so many messages on my timeline with people that just say happy birthday. And I like those people. But I don't I'm tired of hearing that message, happy birthday. Because it's like, it's so I've heard it a million times and it's nothing new.
Well, John, I'm sorry, but you have a point.
It's me,
Fine.
It's,
You want something a little more creative. Have something a little more creative. Let me test drive a few things and let's see how well they work, okay?
Okay.
Happy birthday, John. Too bad your beard isn't as old as you.
Mm.
Would you be happy in hearing that?
Well, yeah, I think I would because I think you would because you added something to make it more personal.
Okay, cool. Let's try. This is not a happy birthday message.
No.
This is just something, not to say it's generic, but something else. Happy 23rd.
Okay.
That's not something you hear every day. Therefore, you must like it.
No, I don't. It means nothing to me, Christopher. It's just the 23rd.
But it's more than just a 23rd. It's a happy 23rd.
Sure it is. Sure it is. I don't care.
Of course you don't.
What time? What time is it, man? Oh, it's 5:30. That's great. So yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me try another phrase. Let's see how much this brings you joy.
Okay.
Merry Christmas. What else do you expect someone to say on December 25th?
Nothing. Just don't say anything. Just don't say anything. Just really don't. Really, I know that you're thinking it, and that's good enough for me. Like, here's the thing. Just your presence alone is enough.
But what if I'm not present on Christmas Day? Therefore, the least I can do is to send you a merry message for your merry day.
You can do that, and that'd be good.
But it's not going to mean anything to you. So why does it? Nothing even matters. Okay.
Not quite. Not quite. Merry Christmas isn't as much as Happy Birthday. I don't know. For some reason, I'm not so ticked off about Merry Christmas so much. Because, to be honest, I don't think we say it often. Because we're always secluded on Christmas because we want to be with family. And we say it once, we open presents, and that's it. Instead of with birthday, I hear it like every hour, every few minutes. Yada yada.
Do you?
Yeah, it really comes down to at Ecuador, when people had a birthday, they would announce it on the intercom. And I hated that so much because I would never tell anyone it was my birthday until I hear it on the intercom. It's like, they look at me, it's like, John, it's your birthday. Why didn't you tell me? It's like, oh crap. Yeah.
You should have given them a different date.
I'm not, I mean, I don't want to say.
Come on, bro. Just say February 29th.
I'm not going to lie about that. Like, I'm not going to lie about
No,
that.
it's not lying. You moved your birthday.
So, no, I'm not doing that. Because, like, I'll just be super vague about my birthday. Because, like, there's a second thing about me. I'm very vague whenever I say things.
Obviously.
You know that, right?
All too well.
All too well. I'm sorry, but it's like I can't help it. Like, I have to be vague, and then if you want to know, you have to be specific.
John.
Okay.
When is your birthday?
It's in May.
I totally forgot. I legit did. I totally forgot. I wished you a happy birthday last month.
You did. Thank you.
Can you believe how brain dead I am sometimes?
That, Christopher, that's how this conversation was started. You said that you wrote me happy birthday, and that I didn't respond.
And I totally forgot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a responder, unless it's a specific question.
That's very...
I'm odd. Because it's like,
I'm glad you can admit that.
if you were to say that to me in person, I'll respond. But if you were to write it to
Happy
me,
birthday, John.
thank you. But if you were just to write it to me, I have the option to ignore it. And like, you wouldn't know any difference if I saw it or not. That's, that is the dark truth of anonymity. Anonymity on the interwebs is that you don't know if I saw that message or not.
Messenger is so nice because it shows me if you saw the message or not.
Which is good for you.
Good for me. Well, but it breaks my heart at the
here's
same
the thing.
time.
You saw that I saw it. If I don't respond, just take it as like I accept your message, but I don't want to say anything because I don't like typing.
It's your way of saying yeah, sure, without saying it.
It's my thank you to you. It's just by seeing it. It's my thank you to you.
Just you seeing it is an expression of gratitude.
It is. Be gracious.
I'm trying, John, but it's hard.
It's hard. It's hard. So yeah, if you ever want to dig deeper, you gotta ask deep questions.
How old are you, John?
I'm 22. Yeah, I'm 22.
You don't know. Neither do I.
Yeah, I know. I'm 22.
No, you don't. No.
I'm the big 22.
22.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Swift wrote a song about your age. Did you know that? Aren't you so happy that Taylor Swift wrote a song about your age?
I could care less.
Obviously. I have not heard the song, so I do not know if it's any good or...
Obviously, Christopher. Obviously.
Obviously.
I'm not good at social conversation, clearly.
And that's the end of the podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Unfortunately, we're never going to make it to the 1 year anniversary because John has admitted that he is not good at social conversation.
Hey, hush now. Don't you dare close us off that way.
I can and I shall. Goodbye.
No. No. Are we done here today?
I don't know. Do you have anything else to talk about?
I mean, there's always so much that we can talk about. You just have to give us the concept to talk about.
True.
But since we have none, thank you guys for listening.
2 hours, yeah.
Yeah, it's good enough time. We can save it for another time. So yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.